Welcome to this episode today. Really excited to share this with you. So why did I call this episode The Hidden Key to Master Attraction and Polarity? Do you want to experience the full potential of your sexual energy, deep intimacy in your relationship, and how it feels like to truly be in your power as a man? Can you hear the world's desperate calling for conscious, heart-centered men to rise to the occasion? Then welcome to the Heart of a King podcast, where you will find the clarity, guidance, and tools that will empower you to do what it truly takes to live a life of freedom, fulfillment, and bliss. First of all, we need to understand what polarity is. In this case, I refer to polarity as the polarity between masculine and feminine. In that case, just to simplify things, let's assume we talk about a feminine core woman and a masculine core man. And also I will simplify, just to keep this short and concise, what the masculine part of the polarity and the feminine polarity looks like. For example, in an intimate relationship. The masculine polarity, for example, brings the qualities of presence and groundedness into the interaction, where the feminine brings the qualities of the expression, the beauty, and also the emotion. Not to say that we men don't have emotions just like women, but just to say that it's more a feminine quality to actually feel and express these emotions. And just to give you a simple real-life example for this, I'm sure you've experienced in an intimate relationship of yours when, let's say, there's a situation that gets kind of heated and might even turn into a fight. In my opinion, it's not healthy and it's not meant to be that we as men actually engage in a fight with a woman. But rather than that, what she's usually craving is your presence and your ability to hold her in her emotion and just to be present with her and allow her to express her emotion without judging her, without trying to control her. Instead, just being present and learning to have the capacity to stay grounded within the discomfort, within the storm of emotion, so to say. And on the feminine side, what her work is to be courageous, to fully be in her body, to fully be embodied and feel herself and allow herself to express these emotions and to express what's alive for her and to allow herself to open up and to be held. So that's a very simple example, but a very important one for this. And if both, in this case, keep deepening into their commitment to, as best as they can, in their conscious embodiment of their polarity, of the core qualities of their polarity, what ends up happening is that they really bring each other into their power. As the man learns to get more grounded in a more full expression of in a woman, more in her fullness, she gets to experience that it is safe to be more in her fullness. And he, again, once she gets bigger, so to say, energetically speaking, he has to learn again to stay grounded. And that's the dance of the masculine-feminine polarity, for example. And it does bring us into our power. We keep bringing each other into our power and into our fullness with this. And of course, it's not a battle or a competition of sorts. It is meant to be done in a way that is truly supporting your partner, as well as respecting your own needs and boundaries. But so that's out of the way. What now is the hidden key to that polarity as a man? Drum roll. The key to master this polarity, and so also the attraction between the masculine and feminine, is to master your own polarity within yourself first. To learn to actually hold your own inner woman, so to say, before you can do that for a real woman in the external world. Because she's gonna feel if you are disconnecting from your body, if you're suppressing your emotions and you're not able to hold your own emotions and your own inner feminine in her own experience. And for some of you, that might sound strange and you're going to be like, I don't have an inner woman, whatever. But it's all just conditioned to believe that it would be more masculine to suppress your own inner feminine qualities and to pretend you would only have masculine qualities, which usually in that case only shows up as the immature boy way of toxic, unconscious masculinity, which is more of the opposite actually of the divine masculine, of the true conscious masculine expression. But the truth is that both of us, men and women, we both carry both qualities within us, of course, masculine and feminine. If you've ever seen the symbol of yin and yang, that is the very meaning of that. It is yin, the feminine, and yang, the masculine, which both carry the essence of each other within themselves. And so what even for me was a bit of a more abstract example after I was working with masculine and feminine energies for quite a while was to actually allow myself to play with the concept of actually having an inner woman, which would just be a representation of the feminine qualities of your own being, which in this case, to keep it simple, let's say, for example, it is about feeling and emotion, whereas the feminine is about much more, but just want to keep this short and clear. For example, if you catch yourself when there's an emotion coming up that you might have to feel or might want to feel at the depth of your being, let's say you feel sad in some situation, but there's a conditioning that doesn't allow yourself to really feel that emotion. There's more of a judgment or even shame around feeling certain emotions as a man or expressing them, like crying, for example, when you're feeling sad. Or there might even be some deeper stuff coming to the surface when you're doing your inner work, and you might notice that you're not in the place where you're actually able to really hold that emotion within yourself and allow it to just flow through and be felt. That, for example, shows that your own inner masculine, your inner man, so to say, is toxic and not in the way showing up truly for your own inner woman. So she's not feeling safe, so she does not let the emotion just to be expressed, felt, and flowing through, which keeps you stuck and away from truly feeling alive and having the capacity to feel all emotions. And by the way, trying to avoid feeling the quote-unquote bad emotions does also take away from the capacity to actually be happy and feel alive. So if you're in that place that I just described and you're actually being with a woman, how is she supposed to feel safe in your environment and truly open up and trust you and go deeper into the polarity and the attraction to rise and deepen the connection when she is not feeling safe because she's sensing that you're not showing up for your own inner woman and you don't have the capacity yet to hold yourself and your own emotions and your own inner woman and your inner feminine? How is she supposed to feel safe with you when you're being toxic and unconscious or just not trained or able yet to hold yourself? Not saying we have to be able to do that all the time or we should be able to already do that, not saying that. But if that's the case, it's very understandable, I would say, that she might not be fully trusting or opening up. And it's a constant practice, like I said, anyway, for us to keep deepening in that. Now I want to share with you from my own experience how we as men can learn to master our own inner polarity first and hold our own inner feminine, our own inner woman, before we then can truly show up for our woman in our intimate relationship, or really any woman in our environment that might just need a healthy masculine presence. First of all, it starts with showing up and having the commitment to be able to go through discomfort, to find comfort in the discomfort, and to keep moving forward and evolving towards where we're meant to be, even when and especially when things get tough, to stay grounded. And the very first thing that we have to do in that process is to actually feel ourselves. And it can even start with the physical body. That's also part of being grounded, is just really truly being in your body. And we kind of live in a society where most people are more out of body than actually in their body. It might sound strange, but it's not an embodied society we're living in. We're living in a society where Most people are living in the comfort of being in the city, having a warm shower every day, having kind of like a comfort zone temperature around them all the time, not having any real exposure to the roughness of nature, and a huge overstimulation of the mind, which often results in a real disconnection from the body. Where it's super simple to just stay in the head and be kind of disconnected from the body, especially where most of us these days carry some kind of trauma in our body. Might it be more intense or more subtle, but it's still held within the body as suppressed emotions and as pain and tensions. So it's kind of the default to just numb out and not be present within your body and within these sensations. And especially men seem to be more disconnected from their bodies and their feelings these days. As I see with women, of course, they have once a month, they have their cycle, their menstruation cycle, their period coming, which pulls them into their body. Like when I spoke to women, they often describe it as something where you just cannot ignore it, and your awareness is just being pulled back in, often through pain, and just being pulled back into the womb and into the body, for them to truly be there and to feel their physical pain, but also the emotional processes that are alive for them. So other than really having the commitment and being willing to take the courageous action to truly go through the discomfort and to be embodied, the next thing is to actually be willing to allow ourselves to feel our own feminine, to actually allow ourselves to feel all of our emotions, even the ones that don't look manly, and we might have been conditioned to suppress them or to pretend we're not having them. And to allow ourselves to feel our body, to relax our body, and to allow our body to open up. And once we allow ourselves to feel that part of our being that is there, whether we acknowledge it or not, it's about releasing what keeps us stuck in judging these emotions and being ashamed of them, in even denying that we have certain emotions or that we have an own inner feminine quality. And to also, when you're sitting with your own inner feminine energy in meditation, in stillness, to actually stop to try to control her, to stop to try to make her do something or be different or change according to our mind, to just let all of that go and to have our own sacred masculine presence arise and to just hold her with unconditional love and no expectations, which allows your own inner feminine and later also the woman in the external world to truly learn to trust you and to open up to you and to surrender into your arms and to just express what's alive for her and to let the emotion flow. And once your own inner feminine learns to trust you again, you can then actually experience to actually feel and express a full range of emotion again, which is so important to truly being alive and to also master this polarity, which paradoxically actually does make you much more attractive to the opposite sex when you're also able to hold your own emotions and to actually experience them. And not try to deny them, hide from them, run from them, but to actually embrace them. And you will be blown away by how directly this is showing up in your interaction with your woman once you're actually able to master this polarity within yourself. And if you're not having a partner, you can see this being reflected also in how the attraction towards the opposite sex is showing up. To finish this off, I want to leave you with some things that have truly helped me go through this process myself and that I'm still using to keep deepening in that. For example, what truly helped me to overcome the disconnection from the body, the disconnection from feeling, is to get out of the comfort zone physically and to truly immerse yourself consciously in physical discomfort in a healthy way. So how does that look like? How that can look like, for example, is to subject yourself to the rawness of nature. Because we're just simply not built to walk on plastic shoes and live in a lukewarm box and have lukewarm showers all day and watch TV. So it's about truly exposing yourself to the elements. For example, you can immerse yourself in ice cold water. You can go to a river, a cold lake, a cold pool, cold bathtub even, or an ice bath, and to immerse yourself in the cold water. You can also just start out with cold showers, but if you really want to keep deepening in that, it truly serves to actually have a cold water immersion like an ice bath. And what that does in a healthy way, it does subject yourself to discomfort and to a sensation in your body that is strong and does pull your awareness in, where you cannot just be in your head. You have to feel it literally. And this will teach you to actually be in your body, to stop your racing mind, to actually be with your awareness in your body, and to actually experience the sensations from the cold water. And when you keep deepening in it, also the sensations beneath the surface within you. That also includes the feelings that you might have avoided to feel for a long, long time. And this works even better if you combine it with breath work, the next thing. If you, for example, like the Wim Hof method, practice breath work that allows you to have longer breath retention with your breath out, so actually basically holding your breath after you've been charging your body with oxygen. Other than all the physical benefits that has, it does kind of give you a space where your mind stops, where the constant action, the constant doing stops, and you're actually naturally dropping into being and feeling instead of thinking and doing all the time. Of course, that takes some practice to keep deepening in that, but it's so worth it. And as I said, this works even better combined with the ice bath. So first doing the breath work, and then after you've been charging yourself with oxygen, already dropping into your body, you can then, for example, drop into an ice bath and keep deepening into the embodied presence. And if you have the opportunity to, after the ice bath, for example, go lie in the sun or even jump into a sauna, that's even better. If not, that's fine. You can just make yourself a cup of tea and warm back up, and to welcome yourself back into a deeper presence into your body. And this is not about beating yourself up. This is not about just being rough to yourself or something. This is about just having the courage to go through the discomfort, but also the compassion for yourself and the patience to keep deepening step by step. So it's more about gradual cold exposure and gradually going deeper and deeper, other than really forcing yourself in all the way and trying to do anything with force, because all of this does not have to do with force. It has to do with acceptance and surrender, whilst you're staying with the discomfort. Might it be uncomfortable emotions, uncomfortable physical sensations, or anything else. Thank you for joining us for the Heart of a King podcast. Make sure to follow the podcast and turn on your notifications so you won't miss out on any new episodes coming out.